It was crazy. I saw them everywhere I went. And I bet you've had this experience too. Hi, I'm Diane, and I'm here with your Joy Tip of the Week. Now, I know it's a tough time of year for some people, especially in 2020, whether you've lost a loved one or you've had a situation with your job where you haven't been able to work or you've had to work at home. Just so many different things going on in our homes because of COVID and because of all the restrictions that our government's placing on us and that kind of thing. So I know this is a tough time of year to choose joy. But I've got a plan for you. I have 4 tricks to choose joy, and it's all about shifting your focus. Now, I know that not long ago I was shopping for a car, and I know this has happened to you too. It was time for my old Chevy Malibu to hit the bricks because it was just not, cutting it anymore. I was actually at the time doing a lot of essential oil classes, a lot of make and takes and DIYs, and so it was something that I wanted to do was to buy like a crossover, an SUV that I could have a hatch where I'd have all my supplies and everything. So I started doing research and I wanted to buy an American made car. I had a Chevy Malibu before. I wanted an American made car again. That's just, I thought it was being patriotic that way or something. But my dad, as I was doing research, my dad at the time said, hey, I think you should check out a Subaru because they're getting some really good ratings and they do have an American factory as well. So I decided, okay, Dad. I will consider checking out a Subaru as well. Well, at the time, my niece Grace was living in Grand Rapids, and I thought, what a fun day for us to just have some lunch together and then maybe go do some test driving. And so I went over to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and picked up my niece, and we had a great lunch, and then we did some test driving of some cars. And of course, I was going for the American made cars. You know, I wanted so badly to do that. And we spotted a Subaru dealer, and I thought, oh, I'll go drive something there just because it'll please Dad. It'll make him feel better that at least I tried it out. And so we went to the Subaru dealer and I test drove a car there. And I got to tell you, I can see the look on my niece's face. It was just so funny. She was looking at me like I was some wackadoodle because I got in the car and it fit me perfectly. Have you ever had that experience where, it fits your bottom and it hits the back of your knees at the right place? And the other thing that I kept saying to Grace is we were driving around Grand Rapids and I took it for a long test drive too. I can see so much, I kept saying to her, because it felt like I was in this cockpit and that there were windows like all the way around me. It was crazy. I just loved the vehicle that I was driving. I could see so much more. I felt so much freer. I felt so much more in control. I loved the handling of it. It was just a great car. But I still needed to mull it over. So I didn't make any purchases that day. I went home and I live in a small town. I live in Alma, Michigan, which is a small town in Michigan. And would you know, I started seeing Subarus everywhere I looked. Anytime I went out, when I drove up to Mount Pleasant for errands or when I went out to the grocery store or whatever, every time I went out, even to church, I saw people driving Subarus everywhere. And it's because that Subaru was right at the front of my mind. And that's how it works. Whatever is at the forefront of your mind is going to multiply. It's going to shift your focus to that. It's a brain chemistry thing, and it's proven. And it's so I really want to encourage you, no matter what's going on right now, shift your focus to the positive, especially during this season, so that you can enjoy the holiday season with your family and so you can enjoy Christmas. Um, and so the other thing, though, that you need to know is that when you focus on the negative things too, that is also going to be at the forefront of your mind, and that's going to multiply in your brain as well. So you really need to take some effort to see the positive and focus on the positive and shift your mindset, shift your brain. And there is only one way out of the cycle, and that is to create a shift. So I have 4 simple tricks for you to shift your focus and enjoy the season. And the first, this is from my mom, and this is be positive or be silent. That is a great mantra from my mom. She's said it for years, and it has to do with every area of our life. If you can't say something positive, then maybe you should be quiet. Hello, hello, Ramu. So yes, keep that in mind, especially when it comes to social media. When I see, and this is the perfect year for all these people that have decided to do rants and things on um, Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. It's just something that I would say is not an appropriate place to rant. All that rant does is stir up more trouble, right? So, especially on social media, make an effort to be positive or be silent. Uh, it just will create a people will want to look at your stuff then. People will be more inclined to like and comment and share on your posts if you are positive rather than ranting and creating, angst and, oh, this horrible thing happened today. That's not what you need to focus on. Focus on the best part of your day, and maybe you can comment and post about that as well. So, number 2 is to count your blessings. And I've talked about this a lot. We've got to be thankful, but I think it's a good reminder to keep on counting our blessings every day. And out of Thanksgiving does come joy and the ability to choose joy. And so if you have to write it down, write it down. Start a gratitude diary. If you're having trouble at home, then every day find 3 things that you can be thankful for about being at home and write those things down. If you're having trouble at work, then every day you can find 3 things that you're thankful for about your work. And it may be tough, but you can search and find those things, whether it's a comfortable space, whether it's the hours you work, whether it's the people that you work with. There's got to be something you can be thankful for, and write those down every day. And then if there's a friendship that's struggling, that's a tough one, but apply the same tactic. Find 3 things that you can write down about that friendship that you're grateful for, and count your blessings for that friendship. Now, third, this one is a hard thing to do, but it is to focus on others and take the focus off of yourself. And I would just encourage you to, think about complimenting others. As I know it's hard, we're out and about with our masks on and everything, but find someone that you can compliment. You don't have to know them or not know them. Just be sure and look for ways to compliment people. Help someone in need. If somebody can't get the grocery cart apart, or somebody needs help, unloading something or whatever. Look for somebody in need and help them. And then even a simple smile at strangers is going to be helpful. Which is hard to do right now. Mark Twain said the best way to cheer yourself up is to try to cheer somebody else up. And I thoroughly believe that. And right now, I'm really frustrated that we can't see smiles all that often when we're out and about, because smiles are so important. I remember back when I went to college, I went to Taylor University. And when we would walk up and down the sidewalks and the halls at school, everyone would say hello. Everyone would smile and say, hey, how you doing? Or nod your head or greet each other in some way. After I graduated from Taylor, I went on to work on my master's at Ball State University. And of course, I thought this is what you do. You be cheery to everyone. You greet people in the hallways. You greet people in the parking lot or on the sidewalks. But no, that wasn't what you do at Ball State. So I was not, the compliment or the smile was not returned. And it was frustrating for me because that was what I was used to. But I kept on doing it because that was who I am. I smiled at people, and even if they weren't smiling back. So finally, I would encourage you to incorporate a daily source of inspiration into your daily routine, something that you find every day that is inspiring to you, that you can focus on. Whether it is reading scripture, that's it for me. I love to read scripture. I have somebody that I also follow on social media, Susie Larson. Boy, she just is such a blessing to me most days with what she has a morning blessing and an evening blessing that she sends out. So I'd recommend her following her. She does some great stuff. But find something that is an encouragement to you, whether it's a podcast or a Twitter account or some form of, maybe it's a book with daily readings in it, or it can be the Bible, and just find a way to incorporate that daily source of inspiration each morning if you can, because that will give you the strength to get through the day with that smile on your face. I would tell you too that this is probably one of the hardest things to do is shift our focus. One of my favorite authors is Mark Batterson, and his book, he wrote a book a while, this is one of his first books, I think, In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day. It's a great little book. And he talks about how hard it is to get rid of all these old and negative things and relearn new and positive things. He says, almost like a hard drive with a computer virus, our minds have infected files, irrational fears, misconceptions that keep us from operating the way we were designed to. And if those fears and misconceptions aren't like uninstalled from our hard drive or our brain, they undermine everything that we do. Unlearning these things is twice as hard as learning, and it often takes twice as long. It's harder to get the old thoughts out of your mind than it is to get the new thoughts into your mind. So basically what I'm saying is fill your mind with new thoughts, and that will push those old thoughts to the back, and hopefully they will be obliterated and unlearned so that you can choose joy every day and you can see that positive perspective everywhere you go. Just like I did with my Subaru. So if you're ready to overcome, all the demands of life, especially during this holiday season, and take some simple steps to choosing joy, then I'm going to put in the comments below a link to sign up for my email list, because not only do I do these here, but I have an email list where I send out tips to choose joy each and every day as well. And I'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments something that you just saw everywhere you went because your mind was focused on it. I know it's happened to so many people. I'm sure it's happened to you as well. So what did you experience, or what was at the forefront of your mind that you ended up seeing everywhere you went or hearing everywhere you went? Tell us in the comments your funny story about that, and we'll give everybody a little bit of enjoyment there. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you next Tuesday for another Joy Tip of the Week. I sure hope this has been helpful for you. Be positive or be silent. Count your blessings. Focus on others, and then find some daily source of inspiration that you can dive into each morning to start your day and shift that focus. And remember, joy isn't something that simply happens to you. You have to choose joy and keep choosing joy every single day.